Alright, this is going to be the position 3 replay for Sand King. Pass the draft. Oh, way too far. Alright. A little further. Lunatics, huh? Why is this not working? There we go. Alright. Starting items, 2 sets of Tango Salve, excellent regen, Coin Blade the last hit, that's fine. Mango and Clarity. With the Veno, I don't think you're going to get a good opportunity for the Clarity. I would have just gotten a second Mango, or since you don't have the gold for it, I would just saved up for your next Mango or another item. Because the Veno's going to see that, and he's just going to pop it from range, and you're going to lose it. Or you're going to have to hide in the trees to try and get that Clarity to go off, so that's not great. The branch, I assume that's going into a magic stick for a magic wand, so that's fine. If it's just for stats, that may not be the best. The extra little stats aren't great. So this is what we talked about earlier on the other perspectives, but basically standing anywhere on this side of the top of the steps, if you're going to contest the rune on the other side, is not very great, because the other team here is going to see you, and they're going to be able to basically watch you hit the top of the steps, run downstairs, run across the river, and then run back up the steps. And that entire time you're trying to get to them, you have no vision over him this entire time unless someone else flanks from the other direction. So you're basically trying to charge at him right in front of his face, and he gets to see it the whole time, and he'll basically prepare for it. So the better way to do it is to just go through the lane. They're not going to have vision anywhere in this area at the beginning. Even if they raced out, the closest they'd have a ward is like somewhere in this area. Excuse me. So basically go over here and then use the trees and then hide behind the tree line as you approach. So realistically, if he's standing somewhere in this area, he's not going to see you until after you pop out of this tree line. So that gives him just this tiny little bit of distance to react. Whereas if you run across from the top, you're running all the way across this distance, and he can react throughout that entire range. And mostly it's not for his reaction, it's for his teammate's reaction, who's going to be back here somewhere being lazy or taking too long. Like in this case, he's still got guys in the fountain. I don't know why his team is sticking around there, but good for us and bad for them. So let's see, you do end up coming around this way, and now you go back to this side, which is unfortunate. So now he still sees you, and every time you get that glimpse of Lifestealer's feet here, he sees you as well. So that whole time he knows you're in this area, and you've basically started heading up in this direction. So he knows to expect you from here, but for whatever reason, he's just sitting here AFK. You also start going in a little early, so unfortunately the witch doctor was sort of thinking about his items. He came out of the shop a little late, so he's a little behind. Lion's sitting here waiting for him, and they were planning on going through the trees around, and you go straight in a little bit early, which is okay, and it works out this way. But if the supports have been with you, tell the supports to keep up, and if they're right behind you here, this is an easy kill, because the three of you can basically chain your disables one after another, and if he doesn't get rage level 1, then he's screwed. And if he does get rage level 1, then he's going to have a huge disadvantage in the laning phase. So either way, it works out great. But unfortunately, they're a little far, and the lifesteal almost gets away. Thankfully, Viper comes in from the back to save it, but this works out. Just minor inefficiency things in terms of trying to go for a first blood gank. Viper gets that. You guys turn around here. There's no reason for you to turn around at this point. Viper's already basically saved it. So Witch Doctor should walk bottom, but he ends up TPing, and you head over here to basically get the rune. Should be going for a creep block, because if they don't block, you want it as far back as possible. So hopefully you go all the way down to block your creeps. Lion is hanging around for harassing to watch for a ward. So you're kind of dancing around here. You should be blocking this. You should be blocking right now. Okay, that was weird. So you let the creeps walk all the way up to the tower right about here, and then you kind of did like a stutter step, which isn't an efficient blocking technique, and then you just missed completely. So the way to do the block is as the creeps are running up, you want to zigzag. So you want to right click over here, then right click over here, and basically zigzag your mouse left to right across the entire width of the lane, because then that's going to make your character do this little zigzag walk here. But you kind of did like a stutter where you kind of like walk forward and stop, walk forward and stop, and that's a much less efficient way to block the creeps. Try and practice doing the zigzag click as you go up, because if you just constantly click, 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 and just like watch any pro mid players replay, watch his mouse movements. They'll zigzag as they go up, and then that gives them the best way to block, because their hero is literally taking the time to turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left, and that turn rate is what's really blocking the creeps, as opposed to your hero just stopping in front of them. All right, so let's see how the first part of the lane goes. You got Burrow Strike first, just for the first blow, which is unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. You want to pull these creeps back. Okay, so right there, the first thing that happened was, let's see, what's the control for rewinding a little bit? Let's get to that first. Sorry, I'm going to learn some spectator stuff real quick. Camera time. There's no way to rewind with the hotkey. That's terrible. Okay, so I just have to rewind manually. What was it, 35? This is not ideal at all. Okay, 32. Should be a way to just rewind like a couple seconds. It's really poorly done. All right, I'll learn for next time. Just do the whole 10 seconds. So basically, your creeps are going to meet in a inopportune position for you. And so this creep starts taking a lot of damage by itself because he's too far. This creep gets within deny range real early. So you have two choices. You can basically try to go for this deny, which you miss, or you can try and aggro the creeps way back. So now here you walk completely away from the lane. That was weird. So your creeps ran up here, and you got to about this point with the creeps, turned around and walked back here. You're already losing the lane right off the bat. So you want to be close up here, either within aggro range, which you're not, you're way too far, or within deny range. But by just standing here way back behind your range creep, you're doing absolutely nothing. You're just sort of getting XP. And basically hoping, I guess, the lion gets the deny for you. So what you want to do right here in this point is right-click the, let's move up the camera a little bit, right-click the life stealer, get the front line of creeps to aggro to you, and you want these three melee creeps to get off of this line here, start running towards you to attack you, and then once they lose aggro, they're going to go for this range creep here, and you can deny that, because that range creep is the most important thing. So you really want to get that right off the bat. Looks like you run up to try and deny. Lion is harassing. This creep is going to get within deny range early, and you go for a deny way too early. Like this creep is nowhere near your deny. That's what, 113 life with 2 armor. You're doing 51 damage with the Quelling Blade for 15. So you're doing 66 damage, and you're going to try and deny a creep with 2 armor that has 113 life. So you're probably 2 hits too early on this one. So you missed that, and he still has 66 life. Life Stealer, of course, has Quelling Blade as well, so he probably pops it. Let's see. There's an unfortunately late stun from the lion. If the lion had stunned earlier, it would have prevented the deny. But still, this lane is too far. So now we're trying to pull the creep wave back. Lion aggroes to try and get these creeps to come this way, but unfortunately they don't go for the range creep. You go for him instead. And so you should get a last hit on one, maybe either of these two. Life Stealer gets a free deny, so let's see what the CS count is at. He's at 2 and we're at 0. Okay, so that's bad. Got one there, that's good. This creep here should be an easy last hit. Let's see, 98. Speed up just a smidge. That's a miss. Okay, so unfortunate. And that's going to get denied. Unfortunately, that was probably Lions to go for. So that's a shame. So this wave is out of position now, and now you're a little behind. So you've gotten 1 CS out of the entire first wave. Lion stuns to prevent him from basically denying that one, but the tree blocks you. So that's just unfortunate all around. So basically we're starting the second wave, and Life Stealer is 4-0 and you're 1-0. And that's just really tough. So you do end up actually out farming the Life Stealer in the early game, but that's mostly because of kills and the damage that we're able to throw on these heroes, and not because of the CSing. So right now we're really bad. So you got to get that deny. You missed that deny. Okay, stun with a CS. That's good. Let your range creep hit that one. Okay, so Lion screwed that up for you by prepping it. Deny there. Nope. Didn't, okay, that's it. That's good. So it looks like you're rushing a bracer first. That's not the worst. Lion is pulling out the Lifestealer. That's good for you. Coming back. You need to get this on this range creep. Okay, stun him. That's fine. When he hits that, deny it. Yep, that's perfect. All right. That's okay. Turning and walking away is okay, but you should probably just be turning and manning up to hit him, because you're going to end up just staying there in that area long enough. You can't outwalk the open wounds. Going back here was probably a mistake, so I talked about this on the Lion replay, but basically, you're up here, you're getting open wound hit. You've got all your tangos somehow, so you haven't eaten a single tango this whole time, but you're at half health. You have a salve. Lifestealer pops his open wounds, and this is a pretty big thing for him. So it takes a lot of his mana, more than half of his, or about half of his mana, and has a pretty long cooldown. And he's not going to be able to chain that with the Venomous Gale from the Venomancer, because if they get the double slow on you, or either of us, we're probably both dead. So you want to get away from this fight and then heal up, but you end up turning. So at this point, when you're hit with the open wounds, you might as well just man fight, and that's fine. You're starting to do that here. But there's no reason to run away while you're slowed, because you're just going to continue to get hit. He's going to basically attack you in the ass as you're running away. So now here, you keep running, you keep running. This is actually a replay bug. That's not on you yet, but this Poison Sting is hitting you, but you should run and continue to heal. So Lion is just going to kite this guy back and kill him. But Lion has almost no health at this point. You have almost no health at this point, and Venomancer is a little low as well, but he also has more health than either of you. So when you go back in on this fight, you're basically trading yourself, the position 3, the Lion, the position 4, who's probably already dead, and both of you guys for what's probably just going to be the Venomancer, because you're almost definitely not going to get the lifesteal on top of that. He's still farming over here. He's probably lifestealing on these guys a little bit, and probably eating his own tangos. So looks like he's already popped one earlier than you have. So the best play for you here is to actually go back, continue munching tangos, or just wait for the poison to tick out and then pop your salve, because you could pop that, eat 400 health, and then you back up to what, 622 as opposed to 222, and then you can actually lane again. But now you've been completely bullied out of lane by deciding to go in here. Lion stuns him. That's a replay bug. You stun, that does a little bit of damage. Lion screws up by not right-clicking and trying to mana drain. But either way, the Veno is dead, but you've traded yourself for the Veno. Maybe if Lion had right-clicked, you might have gotten that kill sooner, and you could have just barely walked away from the Lifestealer, but you have the Venomous Gale's tick. So you're moving really slowly. This is a 50% slow, and especially with the way the creeps are now blocking you here, you're totally dead, and that would have never worked out. So I would definitely try and use the salve, and then just heal up, and then come back in the lane later. Because Lifestealer's playing this lane with like 200 some health, and he hasn't popped his salve yet. So if you eat yours, you're going to have a 400 health advantage on him. But now, as you come back to the lane, you're going to be a little short. So let's see. You've got... okay, so that's interesting. You bought the recipe for the bracer and not the circlet. Don't know why you would ever do that. So theoretically, you get to this lane, you get an open spot in your inventory, you can't move the bracer recipe in, because this has no value at all. The recipes don't do anything. There are no stats or anything here. If you hadn't bought that, it looks like you got 128 gold, but you bought the recipe. If you hadn't bought that recipe, I think you should then have enough gold for the circlet. And you want to be able to move the circlet in after you pop a healing salve. And either way, the last item is going to have to be brought out by the courier unless you die again. So it's not like you're delaying the bracer itself by buying the circlet first and getting the recipe earlier. So this is a mispurchase, I think. You got another clarity, which is unfortunate, because again, I don't think you're going to get enough time to use these clarities, unless that's your original one. But still, you're in the middle of the lane so much and doing so much that you're not going to be able to avoid taking damage for the 20 seconds or whatever it takes. Good last hits. Looks like you got all the ones you should have there under the tower for free. This should be a deny. Missed that one. And you should probably aggro back here. That's fine going for the stun. So you did stack the stun there, and I talked about that on the Lion replay. Let's jump back here. Lion gets a stun on one hero, and then you almost immediately stun as well. And that's okay if you wanted to make sure that you got a double stun, or you wanted to prevent the rage. So right here, Lion is getting you know, sort of pressured, not really, not terribly. He throws his stun on the life stealer, and then you immediately stun over. And so the life stealer was still under a duration of the lion stun, so you missed some time to hit him. Now maybe you just wanted to get both of them, and if that was the point to just do that much damage to both, that's fine. But you know, level 1 Burrow Strike, you're doing what, 100 damage, so you got an extra 100 damage on the Veno. Oh, excuse me. Instead of getting an extra 2 right clicks, probably each on the life stealer. So you could have gotten 2 right clicks on the life stealer while he was stunned, and then stunned him over, waiting for the lion duration to go out. And the lion would have probably gotten 1 right click on him. So pretty close in value, but I may have just rather had you wait a little bit, because even if you then wait, there's still a chance you can angle the stun correctly so that you can actually get the double hit on the Venomancer as well. Not a big deal. Let's go back to your perspective. It's like the courier's coming out. It's going to have the circlet on it anyway, so nothing gained or lost anyway because you still had full inventory. Although something I thought, you have this Iron Branch here, which is only worth 1 attribute, whereas if you had the circlet is worth more than that. And so you could have had, let's see, where's the damn circlet? You could have had 2 attributes, so you basically doubled the value. If you bought the circlet instead, you should have bought the circlet and then swapped out the branch and put the branch in the backpack, and then you would add +1 on all stats, which again isn't much, but it's twice as much value as the branch. So I'm not really sure why you're hitting and then walking away. So that was pretty inefficient. You kind of like walked up, smacked this creep, and then walked away, and now because of that like weird use of time, you're probably going to miss most of these. You could have free farmed at least 2 of these CSs while the enemy team was out. So it looks like you got 1 of each, which is okay. 9-1. I got to pay attention to your numbers, and you're keeping up with Lifestealer. You're both at 11, so that's okay. One of yours is a deny though. Another stun. Lion has Trank, so he's doing fine, just walking away. And you're checking items. That's good. You really got to eat your Tankos more though. So now you're sitting here. You're missing over 250 health, and you've still got 5 of your 6 original Tankos. You probably should have been munching on a lot more of these to begin with. And even now, you're just sitting behind your tier 1 tower. Yeah, the tower gives you a little bit extra regen, 1, but you know, you're not going to get that 250 or was it 270 life back anytime soon. So eat that Tango because you're going to take more damage just as you go back to the wave. There's no reason to leave these Tankos sitting here. Oh, you're gonna hide for a Clarity. Okay, so that's kind of unfortunate. Looks like you're swapping the Clarity to try and get some mana for a stun. But while you're doing that, your wave is way up here, and you're missing out on all of it. So they're last hitting and denying and having a great time. You were even with the Life Stealer. Now he's 4 ahead of you because you're basically hiding in what looks like you're gonna try and pop a Clarity to get a stun. Your Burrow Strike really isn't that big of a deal in the lane. You should be focusing more on the last hits because the stun is good damage, but really you got to combo with the Lion to get the value out of it. You know, Lion stuns 2 of them, and then you wait for a second, you're getting a couple hits on them, and then you stun the 2, and basically they're both disabled twice, and maybe Lion has enough mana for a Hex after. And that would be really good harass, but Lion's got no mana right now. He's got a mana drain, and he's only got 1 point in that. And you should just be trying to get some levels in XP right now. So this is a little inefficient. Because now, if you walk up too close, Veno's going to see you, and he's going to ruin your Clarity. Kind of curious to see how much value you get out of the Clarity. Just hiding behind the trees here. It looks like he's spotted you, and he wants to go for it. Lion is off hunting a Courier. That's good. So use the Sandstorm to protect the Clarity. See if you take damage. Okay, so you got 3/4 of the value of it. That's pretty good. The use of Sandstorm to then stay in the area, and last hit is good. That's good harass. It's a good stun. It's just unfortunate you don't get the Veno until you get another Burrow Strike. But otherwise, pretty good all the way around. Alright, so that's a good kill on that. Lion is just dancing around with the Life Stealer, trying to harass him. It's perfectly fine. Life Stealer's low on mana. You gotta really try and get those last hits when they're close. You do seem to be missing a few kind of freebie ones that are uncontested. Let's see, where are you going? You're just hanging out back here. Oh, Delicious Dick. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, so now you've given up on this wave, and this is weird. I don't know what's going on right now, but your wave is way up here, which yes is unfortunate. But there's really no value for you to just run all the way back here. I'm not sure if you're waiting on a courier to bring you something, but there's not a lot of good value at the boots. Okay, I mean you can still stay up here and probably be on like this side of the trees and try and leech a little bit more XP while you're waiting for your boots. And then when your boots gets up to this point, you can run back here and probably meet them over in this area. But waiting for your boots and running back while they're still so far away, this is a lot of wasted time and a lot of wasted XP. Let's see, Life Stealer's 4, and you're just a little bit behind. That's not bad. Venom's 3 and a bit, and Lion is, where's Lion? 3 and a quarter. So Lion's a little behind. So overall, your XP in the lane is close, but you're still falling. All right, let's see how this goes. You've backpacked your salve to basically make room for the boots. Okay, that's fine. You've still got 5 tangos. So the way this lane is going, I mean, you're playing in a Veno Lifestealer lane. There's a lot of harass coming. The fact that you've somehow managed to keep 5 of your 6 original tangos for the first 5 minutes of the game makes me feel like you're probably not tanking enough damage or close enough to the wave that you're trading. You're kind of hiding back here in this area, whereas if you were contesting all the last hits, trying to get the farm, you lose some of your life, but you know that's what these 5 tangos and the Sav are for. It's definitely worth it to basically lose some of your life. That's an early last hit, unnecessary. Let's see, deny that one. Okay, you missed the deny, but I think you got the last hit there. It's good. Yeah. Maybe focus more on denies. It looks like you're not going for a lot of denies. There's easy last hits now because you're passive, so it's a good bit more damage on top. Yeah, now that you've got your passive, you're able to get more last hits because of the AoE splash, which is useful. That sandstorm was unfortunate. That is way far behind. I guess you're hiding from the tiny, which is okay. So if that was like a defensive sandstorm, then that's fine. But you missed the entire wave, so it's unfortunate. But the tiny rotating on you, you know, that's not a real big deal. This I think is the one. Let me go back and check. Is this the one where you called the smoke? Yeah. So I think this is the one where you actually called the smoke. So okay. So I remember this now. You're hiding behind over here because you remember or you saw the tiny smoke out. So let's see, let's go to free. Let's go to free camera. Yeah, so Tiny was over here. Tiny should be smoked. Where's Tiny? It's unfortunate. Where is Tiny? It's not letting me select him. Very irritating. Okay, so basically, Tiny's over here. Yeah, he's smoked and he's about to gank. And I remember this now. So you saw the Tiny smoke over here in vision and you're hanging behind. And that's fine. I understand that now. But basically, if this guy's going to smoke and come around on this side, you want to stay away from this area. So this is good. Like right now, you and Lion are both on the left side of this lane. You've got vision out to here. The tower's here to protect you. You can escape back this way. Lion can go up into the trees here. This is a good position, but unfortunately, I think both you and Lion then dive into this area, which is bad because that basically pulls you far enough away from the safety zone that the Tiny can come up and then delete you. So let's see if that's what happens. Yeah, you see the Veno, you get baited in a little bit, Lion comes up behind you, and now you're way out of position. Okay, so that was unfortunate. And it was good that you spotted the courier kill. It's good that you spotted the Tiny smoking in, but when you do that, you got to stay on this left-hand side of the lane because you know he's coming from the right. There's no way he's going to smoke and invade from this batch of trees over here. All right, so now you're down to brown boots. Okay, so you have... Oh no, that's Tiny's. Where's yours? You still haven't used any tangos. You're at 60% life, and you're holding onto your tangos. I really don't understand why. It's definitely very inefficient feeling. You should eat a tree right now and just have it ready. But oh well. Hanging out here. This would be a good time to pop one of those clarities if you want one, since you're running for arcane boots. Might as well clarity. This is inefficient. You should swap that out. Pop the clarity. Eat a tango. Okay, arcane boots is nice. Give you more mana for stuns, but still nothing's happening. Okay, that was an extremely late clarity pop, so I understand the idea of using it, but now you're hiding. You're waiting for your clarity to end and trying to do nothing until that happens. Sandstorm to protect clarity, nuke the wave with your passive, that was good. That's unfortunate that you split targets there. So that looks like a little bit of a misplay or miscommunication. So you stun in, you nuke this whole wave, and then you start fighting with the life stealer, and then you switch targets, which is fine. Let's see, his lion have his disables. He does. Throws one disable on the life stealer. Is probably waiting to stack the next one. You're going for the. That's interesting. See, it looks like you started to go for the Veno, then you changed for the lifesteal, and then you went back for the Veno. So that was probably just miscommunication in the lane. Yeah, now you give up on the Veno, you go back for the lifestealer. So that's just kind of wasted time and unfortunate because those guys were so low that I think if you hit the same target, excuse me, you might have been able to bully them out. But I think Viper comes up and cleans up the Veno anyway. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Missed the burrow. That's a thing. Not a big deal. You're clearly spotted. I think that's a replay bug. Yeah, you're not invisible. Really, you got to eat one of those tangos. Now you're at half health, and you still got 5 tangos in your inventory. It's a big misplay here. You're really saving these tangos for nothing. Alright, so let's fast forward a little bit. Popping a clarity, nothing's happening, this is fine. Okay, free farm, you should hit all these last hits. Good. Missed one, that's fine. Oh, go get that range creep. The tower was hitting the other creeps next to it, you should have had that. Okay. Bait out the rage, it's fine. Nothing's out now, you're going pipe. Remember this being discussed. Trying to tank up a little bit. A lot of magic damage on the other team. So you want to get defensive items, that's good. Good epicenter, so that worked out perfectly. You know, the gank comes in, you epicenter from behind the trees, burrow strike in, that's straightforward. So, well played there. Alright, looks like you're doing good on the last hits there, so that was completely uncontested. It looked like you got all of it, if not most of it. That's fine, so good. Nuke the wave, your passive kills that stuff off, and you're basically just nuking it and waiting. Now this is kind of inefficient if you're waiting here, so they obviously had vision of you. Looks like you're just gonna fight to the death. That's fine. Once you're doing that, that's understandable. But the thing there is, I probably would have tried to leave earlier. So with that fight, you basically, well, I gotta go back a ways. Okay, so previously you nuked out this wave up here and then just walked away. So yeah, this wave dies. You basically jump in, you nuke this whole wave, and then you hang out in the area. And I don't understand this play right here. So right now you're just sitting here not doing anything. This is a good time to do something else. So the wave is shoved into their tower. He's just going to get all these last hits for free. The next wave's a long way off. So if you're trying to guess at where the next group of creeps is going to come from, look at your own lane because this is mirrored over. So these creeps, your own creeps that you can see, are just passing the tier 2 tower. And so the enemy creeps, you can see on the mini-map here, but you don't know this, are also just passing the tier 2 tower. So if you glance down at your own map and you see this happening, you can tell that, okay, these creeps are here. You can guess that the enemy creeps are about in this area. So it's going to take a while for them to get there. They're not going to reach this tower anytime for you to leech, and Lifesteal's just going to get these last hits. And your other creeps are way down here, so you can figure here, they're going to meet somewhere in this area. And you get a lot of time for that. It's like 10-15 seconds. So you should be looking somewhere in this area. You want to look for the Venomancer, get some vision on him, eat some of his free wards for, gold, because these are a good bit of gold when they're level 1. It's just 2 hits to kill them. Maybe you want to kill this. Looks like your lion or your support is going off to get runes. Yeah, 10-12, so he probably just picked up this bounty. He's picking up this bounty. He's going to be gone for a while. Unless you think you're going to die, which I doubt, because you've got, Burrow Strike and Sandstorm's going to come back in a little bit, so you can escape if Veno tries to man fight you. But you should probably be looking at taking this farm. So this camp is probably getting stacked. Looks like that's a mix. So it's got a Dark Troll and a Hellbear Spider. Okay, this is stacked, yeah, so these aren't the same type of camp creeps. And so you could just stand right here, Sandstorm this, you still get vision of what Veno's doing, and your Sandstorm would just eat this creep wave for free. And even if you don't want to do that, just go ahead and start hitting them for free. You've got full health, you've got still a lot of regen that you're not using, and you could just get a little bit extra farm. But by waiting here, you're just kind of just doing nothing, hoping that you're going to get jumped. And that's literally what happens. Your character just stands here. Looks like you're kind of AFK or I don't even know what. And as soon as that happens, as soon as he hits you like that, you know you're probably in a bad spot. Like if the life stealer is diving you instead of looking for any of the rest of this, something's probably going on because the life stealer hasn't tried to man fight you like that in this entire lane. And once you see the Veno come up, it's a little more obvious. But that's unfortunate, but all right. Let's see what happens next. 20 seconds to your back. All right, so you're coming back to the same lane. Lion is here, and you basically just have your creeps. So last hit, good. Deny, good. Okay, you're gonna. Oh, well, that worked out. So, do you have a neutral item yet? So, extra neutral item just procced in the shop. Yeah, someone just dropped that. Oh no, that's on the other team. Okay, never mind. I thought there was an unused neutral item. I was thinking you should take that. This is good. You're staying on the other side. Nuke the wave. Okay, double stun. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So that was probably a little bit of miscommunication there. Lion has his finger. He's level 6. You're in the middle of the wave already, so it's not a great place to epicenter. And if you just burrow strike and hold him in place, then the Lion's going to get the finger kill here. So Lion spots him in the trees, goes for the stun, lets you know he's there and available. Finger, and then rather than burrow strike, you end up using your epicenter, and your burrow strike remains off cooldown. So that's unfortunate because Life Stealer here is raged, so he's not even taking damage from your epicenter pulses, and you probably waste the first 2 or 3 out of 6. So probably a third or half of your ult is completely wasted. Because you didn't burrow strike, and even though you were slow, like I get that you move slower, but the slow doesn't change the burrow strike cast range. So that's just an unfortunate use there. And then you burrow strike while he's still raged, so that was unfortunate because it looked like you burrow strike through him and then nothing happened. So it's probably just on the end of his rage timer. See if you get out here. Well, now you use your Tango. Yeah, that's a good point to just sab up and come all the way back to full health. So that's good. Alright, now you're just kind of dancing around in the area. If you're going to stay back like this, I get your low health, but you should probably at least be close enough that you can leech some of this XP when these creeps are dying, if you're not going to challenge the jungle area with Lion. But where you're standing right here, this is just kind of a waste of time. Your salve is already completed, so it's not like you have to protect the salve. Go ahead and eat another Tango. You're missing, what, 300, more than 300 health? Last hit that. Yep, there you go. This is good. Collapse on him. A stun before the rage. That's good damage. Alright, good kill. Veno's probably going to walk away. That's fine. Just go back to your wave. And seriously, eat that Tango. Still 500 health short. Alright, you're getting some new items. You get a hood. That's good. You bought it all at once instead of getting the cloak, which is unfortunate, but that works. Still have no idea what this branch is doing. This branch is basically just a waste of gold. You've had the little +1 stats the whole time and nothing else. Viper's going on a fight here, so you're missing this, and that's a combination of unfortunate map awareness, in miscommunication. Your mid didn't inform you that he was going for this rotation here, so he's got these guys really low. Lion is running for it. I think in this point in the game he's calling you over, but you're way out here hitting these creeps, and that's just unfortunate. If you were really close, this becomes an easy double kill on these two. Those guys die. If Lifestealer completes his TP, the 3 of you guys delete him as well. But the way this ends up going is you do end up getting these 2 kills, and then you lose the Viper for it, which is probably not a great trade to swap the 2 supports for the mid. So yeah, now you're just walking over. It's late. So does the Veno not die? The Veno doesn't actually die, so you don't get both supports. You trade the mid for 1 support, so that's really bad. All right, back up to full everything. It's fine. Stunned to harass, I guess, but you didn't deny the creep. It's all right. Got your last hits. Oh, at least 58, 56. That's good. You're keeping up with the life stealer. Go on the AA. Support's calling you over. And that's a good stun. Good stun. Good epicenter. So basically, just catches out the AA. You didn't use your veil, so that was a misplay. The spell usage was good. You stunned, and then you immediately started channeling your epicenter, and that worked out perfectly. Gave you enough damage to kill the AA. But your Hood of Defiance is still off cooldown, and that's a shame. Because the AA damage is doing a lot of magic. He's throwing out these right clicks with extra magic damage. The cold feet. This is the magic damage increase. You really need to just pop your Hood at that point. There's no reason to keep this active off cooldown. Let's see if you actually ever pop it. Okay, another stun. That's good. Okay, so that's interesting. You popped the Hood of Defiance as he was running away, and I don't think that does anything. Let me check, make sure. Yeah, that did nothing. Okay, so you popped the Hood as he was getting hit by the Witch Doctor Death Ward, and it doesn't amplify or anything. So that was just sort of a I don't even know what that was. Okay. Back to the lane. At this point, eating the Tango is okay because you're so close and you're regenerating so fast. So I don't mind you saving the Tangos here. That's an unfortunate miss deny, but it wasn't a big deal. He wasn't even in XP range, I don't think. Those creeps are getting a little bigger. You see the Tiny come in. That's a good preemptive invis out. You can hit this Plague Ward while you're invis, but yeah, I don't blame you for not doing it. Just hiding, just to wait for the gank to pass. So this is interesting. So you and Viper hide, and I remember you guys dying here. I don't know why this doesn't work out. Viper's got a TP out in 5-6 seconds. You're just invis here. You have a TP out if you need it. Witch Doctor's in lane. D Ward. What happens here? Did you just get caught? Somebody walked past you. Oh, they found Viper. So Viper's okay. He can't TP out because the Tiny's going to stun him. So I guess you guys just go for the fight here. So you delete the Tiny, which is good. Raindrops did help keep the Viper alive, so that's also good. You don't have raindrops, but you have Hood. That's good magic resist there. And I think you're probably all dead. Viper might be able to TP out. You've got everything on you. You got a lot of health. I would have considered TPing out on your part. No stuns on either of those two. Oh, but you do die really quickly. That's unfortunate. Okay. You did use the Hood, but I think it was a little late. Not positive on that. Probably would have started using the Hood as Tiny was coming in to protect the Viper even more from the Tiny magic, but that's fine. All right, so back to your perspective. You're dead for 10 more seconds. All right, you're coming back to life, and where do you go? Where are you? Looking at your character, where are you? Oh, you're TPing. Okay, that was a really slow TP. You stayed in the fountain for a while. Finished out the pipe. That's okay. It's good pickup. So it's going with the team. You guys are pushing in top tier 1. That's good. Okay, defensive glyph. You see the Venom. That's fine. Yeah, there's no dive there once the Underlord comes in, so that's good to cancel the idea to dive on the Venomancer there. But this is back to that unfortunate sort of inefficient timing. So now they're clearing out your wave here. Your next wave is way down here. You got time. Nothing's happening for a little bit. You really like to stand in the wave or in the lane here and not do anything while nothing's happening and your lane is overpushed. So I would come over here and just clear out this camp. You can sandstorm that for free. You got the boots up, the mana regen and the cooldown on sandstorms pretty reasonable. You do tend to like to use the sandstorm in lane to flash farm the wave, but then that leaves you with nothing to do, and the chances of them having a sentry in the lane is a lot higher than having a sentry over here. So when you come back to the lane and you sandstorm, you're probably still being seen because they're going to have, like as you can see on the map, they got the sentry here, here, here. They can see probably a good part of this lane but it's less likely for the jungle camps to be sentried. It's more likely that they're watching this area. So if you use the sandstorm to flash farm this camp, come back here and then just kill this wave normally. Because even if you sandstorm, you're still going to get caught in a gank with your invis. So this is just a minor inefficiency. I would try and use your time better and get some more farm while you're hanging around here. Alright, so yep, sandstorm, flash farm that wave. You're still seen anyway, so the invis didn't help, but you got away. That's good. Now you're waiting for the wave to shove into you. Okay, flash it again. Just fine. It's not terrible. And now this fight is about to go really poorly. Good to channel the epicenter. That's fine. Doesn't look like it's going to do an awful lot of damage to the... Did he interrupt it? I'm not actually sure if you actually got the epicenter damage off. No, it looks like you did. Okay, you did. You did pop the hood earlier, so that's understandable. Didn't have the cooldown back up in time. Or maybe you did at the beginning of the fight. Yeah, and this fight just goes poorly. Alright. Alright, so now you're back to life. Come in, nuke the wave, that's great. Going a halberd, that's excellent. Still have a tango and a branch. You might as well just sell the branch, get 25 gold back. I mean, the branch is worthless in your inventory at this point. You're not doing anything with this, and it doesn't look like you're going to go for a magic wand, so you might as well get rid of it. I guess maybe you're going to eat it. No, you're not. Building up the Sanj parts, that's fine. Some good last hits there. Look like you got most of them. Alright, everyone's coming back in. You're a good bit behind now on the lifesteal and farm, but that's fine. That's probably because he's jungling better than you are, really. This fight goes terrible either way. Looks like you've got your epicenter. I would stand right outside here and then cast it from the outside. Okay, so you start channeling here. I don't think you're going to get hit by another root, so that should be okay. Oh, he got rooted right as... That's funny. Okay. I mean, it works out because he walks into you, but it's just a shame you couldn't get the epicenter on the Venomancer in the back. So, Drow is doing a shitload of damage there, though. That's fantastic. Alright, and then you should chase for the Veno here. But it's too late, he's gone. Okay, not a big deal. And the reason that the Life Stealer probably has more than like 15 more CS than you is because he's jungling. I don't think you've jungled a single camp this entire time. This is optimistic. You're out of position and probably dead. I think I tell you to Burrow Strike down and you get to the river and survive. But this is iffy. There you go. It was a good Burrow Strike down to dodge the blast. Yeah, TP home, that's fine. Ooh, that was lucky. Tiny almost got you. Alright, Sanj is complete. That's good. I wonder if you're going Greaves. Is the Witch Doctor going Greaves? Or are you going... Witch Doctor went Tranks, so you're probably going Greaves here. Or at least that's the hope. Kind of interesting. Not sure what's going on here. Yeah, I don't think you've jungled any neutral camps this entire time. Sand King is that was a waste of a Burrow Strike. You didn't need to do that. You can just sit here and right-click them and keep them in your Sandstorm. It's just you don't need the cooldown, but the mana would be nice to keep. Well, I guess you have the boots, so you can keep that. Shoving out this lane is fine. You're pretty hard to kill off, and so it's out of everybody that should push out these lanes, you probably the best one. Then go back and jungle these camps. Okay, you didn't need to use both spells, so you're flashing it every time you farm something. You use both Burrow Strike and Sandstorm. That's a little inefficient. You can use one or the other. Either one of those spells is good enough to clear out a camp, and then you could have used the other spell to clear the other camp. This is fine. You're keeping the wave pushed up. Okay, I was about to say you got to use your Arcane Boots because you've been cutting into your mana and been holding on to it. Fight's going on up top. Doesn't look like you're here for that. They get an easy kill, but it was a good try. Saw that. Tried to get the TP, but now you're just kind of hanging out here. Not much to do. Go flash this wave. So everyone probably TP'd up top. Okay, that's a big mistake. So they The rest of your team just ganked up here. They killed the Underlord. You saw someone TP out, so they're probably somewhere over in this area thinking a fight's going to break out. Your team is backing out, though. They've already decided the fight's over, and so everyone else is running back to their side of the river. This is a perfect opportunity for you to then go right, and instead of running back towards the river, just flash this farm, because you can kill this, force one more person to then waste their TP to try and come back in and defend this tower, or they risk losing another couple hundred damage on that. And this lane stays really nicely pushed out. Not that this is a bad position for it, but you coming through the river is now a little unimportant and again, inefficient on time. All right, so you go in. Looks like you made a mark on the map to try and invade, and then the team decided not to go for it, which is fine. You pop the pipe, thinking a fight was going to start, which is unfortunate. Kick that arcane. That's wasted time. You need that mana back. Okay, that's good. Almost have halberd. This is an excellent Roche, so that works out fine. All right, let's see. Oh, we're not on perspective anymore. All right, pushing out that wave, that's good. I think at this point, the rest of the team all goes for a tier 2 shove, which is fine. Okay, so this is one of the things that the line was pinging beforehand. So you guys are shoving in here, and so the plan is Drow shows in the lane. Drow is bait. Drow is going to hit this tower and take it if they don't respond. The rest of the team should be looking for, oh, excuse me, a counter gank. So the gank is either going to come, oh, excuse me, soda. The gank is going to come from behind the tower here, or it's going to come from this high ground here. You hiding way back here in the trees is no good. This doesn't protect the Drow. You're basically hoping that they jump all the way in here, and you can walk up this way and then Burrow Strike your epicenter, but you're too far away to help. Same thing with the Viper. Lion is on this side. This is good. They're watching for a rotation. Witch Doctor's here. I think Witch Doctor actually goes through the vision range of the outpost here and gives it away, but you should really be the line for the outpost kind of ends right about here. There's like a blue ring. You can walk up this side of the stairs and not be seen and basically wait right here in this camp. This gives you a direct, kind of instant burrow shot strike down to your Drow. You can epicenter channel from here as you watch the Drow get jumped and then come in for the counter. But here you're just too far and out of position, so you got to move up a little bit. So I think you eventually do end up doing that. I'm not sure. Taking a while. Okay, you're going around, thinking about it. Okay, now you guys are more in position. That's good. No fight breaks here. Everyone just kind of starts shoving in. They finally respond. So this is unfortunate. Let's actually go back and see how this fight starts. All right, so everyone's here. Everyone's shoving in. Enemy team is showing in other lanes, so it's perfect time to go in for it. And what happens? Drow walks up to the high ground. That's unfortunate. It's just bad positioning there. Witch Doctor has okay positioning in the back, but he's too far. Viper, same thing. Viper should have thrown down another Toxin by now. You're right in front of it, so this is not excellent. With the Sand King, your value really is in your disable. So you want to be on this side. You want to stun across the fight, get 2 or 3 people, use your halberd, use your pipe, all that good stuff. But if you're being in the middle here, you're hitting the tower, your right-click damage to the tower is basically nothing. The Drow is really all the damage that's going into this tower. Everyone else is here to enable the Drow, maybe the Viper. You want to be on the side. You want to be here on the bottom to watch this way, or you want to be behind the tower on this side. You're expecting the enemy team to basically react to this, so you're going to want to pop your pipe early. You don't have to pop it now, that's fine, but sometimes you'll want to pop it early in case you think you're not going to get the proc off early enough, and that's fine, but you can try and save it and hope that you don't get stunned or anything before the first jump. But probably this fight is going to start with Tiny jumping in and trying to avalanche this whole area, and then he's going to avalanche this entire batch here, and it's going to be a panic for you to try and then burrow strike out of the circle in one of these directions to try and get the Tiny, or you just like do a short range burrow strike and you only hit one guy in front of you. So you really want to try and push up to a different side. So let's see what happens here. Sandstorm, that's not terrible. You're obviously in vision, but if you're going to Sandstorm and do that, stand on the edge of your storm here. All right, so we see the Lifestealer come in. He's probably going to rage as he jumps. Yep, so there's the rage. You can't burrow strike him. You try anyway. That's unfortunate. So that's a misplay. You saw the Lifestealer run up, and it's obvious he's going to just burrow strike not burrow strike, rage as soon as he comes in. to try and get the most duration while the rest of his team is coming in to chain the stuns. You burrow striked onto him, and again, it was a single target, so this is completely wasted. The Life Stealer is going to man fight with the Viper and the Drow. You want to be burrow striking like the Venno and the Ancient Apparition in the backline, because you want to stop their supports from getting on this fight. Right now, this fight is 4v1. You can let this fight go 3v1. You don't have to be the fourth person here. You want to be out here interrupting it so that it stays 3v1 instead of becoming 3v2, 3v4, 3v5. So really your value as the offlaner is to prevent their initiation on this side. And as the Sand King, you really want to be offensive. It's not like a Tidehunter or something where you're waiting for the enemy team to jump in and then you ult to stop their jump. You need to be more proactive with your spells, but that's fine. All right, so let's see what happens. Right click the Life Stealer. No one has any idea where anyone else is. Lion comes up here to try and get in position. He eats the stun, which is actually really fortunate. That's really lucky that the Tiny threw the stun here on this side of the fight instead of over here, because he could have stunned 4 of you as opposed to just stunning just the Lion. Maybe it looks like he got the Drow a little bit. All right, so you haven't used your Halberd yet. You also haven't used your Pipe. This is really late. At this point, everything's happening. Tiny. So you start to channel your epicenter, which is okay, but your epicenter takes a while to channel. So now you're wasting another, couple seconds as you basically sit here for 2 seconds and channel. Tiny has thrown his spells, AA is throwing his spells, Underlord is throwing his stuff, and you still have an unused pipe. So this is what I was talking about when it's better to throw early, because if you had already cast it, yeah, maybe it wouldn't have lasted the full duration, but you would have been guaranteed not to miss a spell. You could have blocked, instances from 4 different magic spells if you'd used it. Now you're going to cast the pipe late, I hope, and it's going to be too late because everything's already be thrown on the ground. So let's see. Go for the epicenter, and of course you're stuck in this root. You're going to get double rooted with the Atos. Your epicenter is wasted. Okay, so you use the disarm on the Life Stealer. I expect. Can't tell because the silence. I imagine you disarm the Life Stealer, which is pretty good. You've got a Burrow Strike coming up, but the stun duration is going to kill you. Okay, so you did get the pipe late. You didn't use the Arcanes, but you got most of it. And I think this fight is just a loss after this point. Yeah, everyone dies, and it's a chain feed. All right. So that's unfortunate. Imagine the rest of the game is pretty much over from here. All right, you go bot. Flash Farm, both spells again. Going for Greaves, that's fine. That's a good item here. Give you a little bit more sustain in a team fight like that. So that looks good. Flashing that mana. That's interesting. So you decide to go jungle here instead of shoving the wave one more time. I'm okay with that. It's pretty reasonable that there's going to be someone up here and you're going to get jumped. But with someone as tanky and has good escape mechanics like Sand King, you really want to push it one more wave. You don't want, other people on your team to be the guys to take the ganks. That's fine. All right, looks like we're running back. They chase you in. Oh, that's right. I think you die here to a smoke gank. Yeah, so they see you, and that you probably noticed. So even though the Lion dies when he's trying to go for the ward, because he's trying to, establish vision, you don't know that they've smoked in. But once you go for this, okay, so he throws a Frost Blast. Once the AA throws the Frost Blast and that pops here, you know that they have vision. So they just saw the Drow running away, and they also see you running through this. And then I'm pretty sure yep, right there. So AA throws the little, extra magic damage thing on the floor right here, and the Ice Vortex gives vision. So he knows you're right there. He sees you on top of that Ice Vortex, and even though you just got hit with this magic debuff, you continue to go for this camp. And so that's a misplay here, because rather than run away with the rest of your team, who is all the way over here on this side now, you just stop and you decide to try and farm golems, but everyone else is right behind you, and you should have known that because you saw the vortex. So that was an unfortunate death that you could have avoided. You didn't need to go for that camp. That camp is pretty low value, and especially if they're so close, you have to stick with the rest of the team. Everyone else on the team knew to keep running for some reason. If the Drow and the other people on the team that are trying to power jungle and hard farm aren't stopping for this camp, you also shouldn't stop for the camp. If the carry skips it for some reason, then it's probably not worth farming. I feel like you had a couple of warnings there. All right, I think this is probably about the end of it for this replay. Wow, that's a really long death timer for you. Okay, so you come back to life. Looks like we're going to defend bottom from some kind of a push. Okay, you get nuked, pipe saves you. Double stun, that's excellent right there. And you channel the epicenter on no one, that's unfortunate. And you actually cancel it, so that was wasted. So you got jumped on, which is fine. You cast your sandstorm, you double stunned, and then you wasted your epicenter because you started to channel it, and then you just cancel it. So epicenter isn't a spell like Shadow Fiend's Requiem, where if you cancel it, you get to keep it. Once you start the cast for epicenter, even if you cancel, you don't get it. It just goes on cooldown. So there's no reason to ever cancel it if you don't need to immediately do something else, like Burrow Strike Away or TP. Since you were just here in this area anyway, you might as well just let it continue cancel and then hope that someone else on your team is going to be able to Sable. Maybe the Viper sees the Underlord here and catches him with the Euls, and you can get close enough to use it. But canceling it is just completely wasted, and then you got 2 minutes of no spell. Alright, so the chase goes out, maybe Viper gets a Euls, and everyone gets popped and deleted. Okay, so that's unfortunate. Everybody kind of walked into the lip of that, and then the fight split. Tiny comes in behind. Everyone else runs through the route, which is risky, and that fight doesn't go well either. Okay. 30 seconds for Sand King. All right, where is Sand King? All right, you're walking out. That's fine, nuke that wave. Still going for Greaves. Not much happening here. You guys are going for a chase. You notice there's people out in the other lanes, so this is a good spot to go. Not really sure what happened right there. What was that? That Tiny getting away from you, or is that a replay bug? Okay, so Tiny must have avalanched you from the side of trees and then blinked out or something. That's weird. I'm not even sure where that would have came from. There's the brown. Yeah, Tiny's way up top. This is a perfectly good catch, so you guys end up getting them here. You got your mechanism, which is nice. So you throw the pipe late, which is unfortunate because the magic damage has already been done. But I guess it helps from the frost snap. And then once the frostbite ends, you should pop that mech, bring everyone back up. Okay, looks like everyone's TPing top. Flash this wave and then go with them. Okay, you go mid, that's fine too. This is all good. Good. Looks like you guys are grouping up, maybe for an invasion. Yeah. Okay, so you were way out of position right here, so I'm not sure what's going on. You don't have wards, so there's no value here. You flashed the wave in mid. You actually took it from Drow. Drow was trying to hit, that's fine. Drow illusions keep pushing up towards the tier 2. The rest of your team goes back this way, and you are all by yourself, way out of position on the map here. So this right here just looks like a strategic mistake. Not sure what happens here, I don't remember. Like if you had wards, I would understand, like maybe you're trying to throw some wards up, but out here you're just, I guess, going for vision. You are somewhat tanky, but that's a pretty good chance that if there's like 2 or 3 enemy heroes in that jungle, you die there. Flash farm that creep wave. Nope, you're going top. That's fine. Help with the fight. Yep. Okay, so you're pinging to go up that hill. Okay, so I saw that. You pinged that hill like you wanted to go in, but the rest of your team was over here kind of on this ward, so they were way too far. So you were a little out of position. The rest of the team can't really help you. I think Lion blinks in to suicide here and save you, and that doesn't go well, because I think everyone dies here. Another wasted epicenter. Looks like you tried to cancel it and then you got frozen. So you have a tendency to try and use epicenter after you initiate. You blink in, you cast a sandstorm, and then you try and channel epicenter in the middle of that fight while you're in the middle of the sandstorm, and that usually doesn't work out well. So a lot of guys will use Epicenter more as a preemptive spell. They'll sit on the outside, they'll channel it, and then once they've finished the channel, they'll Blur Strike or Blink in. But you don't actually start going in onto the fight until the Epicenter finishes channeling. Of course, there's a small risk that you actually screw it up and you like Burrow Strike in before Epicenter channel's ready. But there's an option in the hotkeys where you can disable channels, interrupting them without the stop key or things like that. So I would try using your Epicenter early as opposed to trying to use it late. And again, that time it's not really relevant because, oh, excuse me, you got jumped, but you definitely want to try and use it sort of as a guess. And that does have a risk of just wasting it, as in you channel the Epicenter and the fight doesn't happen, and you basically have to just let it go, and that's fine too. But it does ensure that the Epicenter goes off, as opposed to in a game like this where you're getting stuck or stunned by the AA and you don't even get an Epicenter at all. All right, so everyone's power jungling again. Not sure what's going on. You're flashing some waves in the lane, which is fine. Group up, smoke. That was fine. You end up stacking your stun with the lion, but you probably didn't realize the lion was going to blink in for it, so that wasn't discussed in the game, whether or not the lion or the Sand King was going to initiate each time if you had the option, so that works out fine. Gem on the ground. Honestly, the gem should go on you and not lion, but it's not a big deal. Okay, now you're going to flash farm mid, that's fine. Good. A lot of irritating little wards right there. Now you're starting to run low on mana. I'd be careful in wasting your extra spells now to flash farm waves when you're basically running this low. So now you only have 200 out of 1,000, and you're really a little limited here. So the rest of the team decided to go for a Roche, and you were in mid, which is okay. Pushing out the lane is fine, gives some vision, but ideally you're here. It's an unfortunate use of the Guardian Greaves because the Frostbite kind of ruins it, but okay. So it was a nice thought. And then back to Roche. You definitely kind of have to tank here. So as soon as you see that, so you guys were Roshing here, you're tanking, that's fine. As soon as you see that Ice Vortex, you know that AA is back again. So it's the same issue that you had in the jungle where you were basically killed over here in this camp. You saw the vortex and you went to jungle this camp. Now you see the vortex and you're still hitting this. As soon as you see that vortex come out, you have to leave and basically counter the AA because these guys here have no life at all. They're pretty much about to die to a one-shot snipe. You have a good amount of life. You've got your Burrow Strike. The AA has to be close because he's throwing that Ice Vortex in. So either Burrow Strike out and go intercept the AA or just walk out and then try and hit him with your Burrow Strike once you see him. But either way, you shouldn't keep hitting the Roche at this point. So continuing to right-click him is a mistake. Viper 4 steps out. That's really good on his part. Drow's about to die here, and you're still Roshing, this is a huge mistake. I get that you wanted to finish it off, and maybe you thought Tiny was going to come in and steal it, even though he just respawned like that second. But this is kind of a mistake here. So killed the Roche here, but then you left the Aegis. So if you were scared of someone stealing it, you kind of missed your chance to sort of save it by protecting it. So you might as well have just left it. Lion and Drow end up finishing it off, and that's fine. So it's not a big deal. Tiny is here, probably thinking about blinking in, stealing it, but he's too late. Drow eats the cheese anyway. Talk about that later. It was a good try. Missed the stun just barely. Okay, that one hit, and easy kill. And yeah, I would stop using the Sandstorm for lane farming now because of how low your mana is. Going for Shivas, that's okay. It's a nice and tanky item. A little expensive. I don't think you'll finish it before the game ends. I don't remember if you do, but I kind of doubt it. And I think the game's pretty much over at this point. Yeah, I'm sure the rest of that fight went well. And so everything else is pretty straightforward.